The Shelly Kitz channel. My name is Michelle. I'm the author of 6 published works. These are my middle grade children's chapter book series, ideally for the age range of 9 to 12-year-olds. They've got mystery, detective work, and overarching evil, and as the name of Bugztopia hopefully suggests, bugs. Lots and lots of bugs. And today we're going to be doing our yearly wrap-up. We're going to be talking about finances. We're going to be talking about the word counts that I've got, and just things like that. So let's get into it. Okay guys, so today we are going to be talking about finances and also writing stats and stuff, but I figured before we get too invested into getting into the numbers and stuff like that of how much I make, how much I spent, how much I wrote this year, we're just going to do a little background information. So back in 2019, December of 2019, I first started writing books. My first book series was called the Believe series. It was I think I described it as a fantasy adventure story, but it had a lot of different things combining into one, and it was just weird. And then after I finished releasing that, and I think I finished releasing that 5-book series probably in like a year, maybe a year and a half. I then released the Matey series, which is a dystopian adventure story. If you cannot tell, I really like adventure stories. But I've decided to take them down off sale just because by the time I only released 2 books in the Matey series before I decided to restart, just because I didn't feel like it was like the books that I were writing were not part of the brand that I wanted to create. And at that time, I was writing the Bugztopia series, which is what I'm currently publishing. And I just felt like I needed to restart, and that's when I restarted. So in May of 2023, that's whenever I decided to really restart and rebrand myself as an author. And then September of 2023 was whenever I first released Bugztopia PD, The Attack on A&T Hill, which is this book right here. And then every 3 months after that, pretty much, I released another book in the series. And so that means that this year in October, well, it was a little, not exactly a year, but a year and a month after I released book 1, book 6 of the series came out. This is what I call season 1 of the Bugztopia series. There's multiple seasons in this book, but they're just following different characters in each season. So that's why I call them seasons. But so I republished them in book 1 in, well, I never re-released them. I never released them to begin with. I released them in September of 2023. Last one came out of October this year. And so we're going to talk about how much I made off my books. So typically for me, I don't really sell that many on Amazon right now. I don't know. I think it's just because I don't market myself very good. And in all honesty, like, the blurb and stuff aren't the best. And I don't want to I don't want to rewrite the wording and stuff like that yet, just because I'm going to be re-releasing them under my LLC that I'm going to be creating in, I think, February. So I'm just like, I'm just going to wait. Once February hits, I think in May I'm going to retake them all down. I think I'm going to take them down in April. Then May I'll start releasing them again with the new pen name. Well, not the new pen name. With the new LLC and with new ISBNs and things like that, with new covers. Everything's going to be new about it. Well, minus the words in it. But that's going to be something that's going to be happening in 2025. But for the book sales that I've got for 2024, I mostly got my money from people that I know. So 2 people that I am friends with, they have grandkids that are in the age range of my readers, and they bought each book for each one of their grandkids. Well, they bought it for one of their grandkids. So two 2 friends times 6 books is 13 books. Well, 12 books. I also sold one on Amazon. I sell my books for $10 through myself. So these are signed paperbacks. They come with a bookmark, a postcard that's got my signature on it. And the first book comes with 2 stickers, and they come with a little insect. So I feel like you get your money's worth out of it with your stickers, with your things. So that is what I sold. I sold 13 books this year. And I made $122.64. That was in total. Like I said, I sell the books for $10, 12 books. That's how you get 120. One book from Amazon, which I found out to be my illustrator's grandma bought it. So she bought it, book 1, which I'm eventually going to be not selling. I'm going to be eventually printing off and signing book cover. I swear I know how to talk. I will eventually be sending her, my cover designer, my cover illustrator, I will be sending her the full set of books, sometime in August, maybe? I don't know. But I'm gonna be sending her the books. I already sent it to my beta reader. She's enjoying them and stuff. So that I spend a lot more money on that stuff. But anyway, so I just want to talk about how much I spent, because I spent a lot of money this year. I spent over $2,000, almost $2,500, which is a lot, especially considering I am on disability. I really am just struggling with finances as it is, especially since I got back in this house, and I need to get myself situated. But I hope this year, I don't know. I'll probably end up spending about the same amount that I did this year on books for next year, just because there's 4 things that I use, are a necessary buy for me. So that would be McAfee. I don't know. I get a virus scanner on my computer, just in case, because I do work on my computer. That's about $120. I use Readable because my books are middle grade, so I want to get about an estimate on a reading level for the kids. I use Microsoft for my formatting and everything. That costs $76, and I use BookBrush for my cover design, which is $99. This year I also spent money on Publish and Thrive by Sarah Cannon. That cost me roughly $500. I did start a website, and then I canceled the website all within a month of each other, which is $54, but it was not a good thing I did. But this year, so that's roughly how my money was spent. And I think, hold on, let me see. I think with my purchases, I had started, so book 4. So I was book 4. So I was getting cover designs, beta reading, and backstock of books 4 through 6 this year. And so my cover images are roughly about $200 a pop. My beta reading is about $15, and backstock's about $60. So that's how some of the money gets spread out. But yeah, that's kind of how much money I spent this year. I made $122, and if you wanted to know the exact profit off of that, out of the profit that out of the $120 that I made, I only made a $54 profit off of it. That's including all my extra bookmarks and stuff that I bought and stuff like that. I only made a $54 profit. So people who say that writing, I don't know who says this, but people who say that writing is a good income, it is once you have your books out and are actually able to sell the books. I don't know how to word this exactly. I feel like in the future my books will do a lot better. Especially, I feel like next year, once I get into more schools, once I re-release the books, once I start author Shelly page, everything will start, hopefully in the future, expand, like, growing, making this an actual business. So that is how much I spent on it, and we will now talk about my stats. Okay, so now we're going to be jumping into the writing process and stuff for me. Well, not the writing process, but how much, like, my word counts and stuff like that. So 2024, I feel like I did okay. Now, you have to remember, I'm recording this on the 12th, so there is still, like, 2 weeks and 2.5 weeks to, oh, I don't know why, I'm going to just say 2.5 weeks. 2.5 weeks until the end of the year, to the start of the new year, but I'm just going to record this now, just because I want to do it. But so this year, I'm primarily focused on the Bugztopia series. I wrote book 9 through book 15 because I just finished, well, I haven't finished it yet, but I'm almost done with book 15. So that is 6 books? 6 books written. And that is all still part of the Bugztopia series. Bugztopia, like I think I told you guys, is like a multi-long book series. So there's seasons. There are seasons, what I call these, like, they're going to be noticed by, like, the different colors of the covers. So this is season 1, which is the green season. Even in the new editions, they'll have green covers. These are season 1. Season 2 will be a yellow cover, and season 3, I think I'm going to do a purple cover. I'm not sure, though. But these are part of the season, like, series, and book 9 through book 14 are part of season 2. Book 15 is the start of season 3. And like I said, I just started, well, I'm almost done with book 15. I don't know how many days it took me to write. I wanted to check, but I didn't write it down. But typically for me, for my Bugztopia series, I write about 12,000 words for the first book, like the first draft of it. And then as I edit it, it'll get up to 20,000 is the max I think I've ever gotten. But with the Bugztopia series, I do 6 drafts. I do 7 drafts technically. There's 0 drafting, which is just me writing it, telling myself the story. Then I send it off to my editor, who does my grammar, which I know I do it early, but it helps make whatever sense is the words I put down. Then I do draft 2 and 3, which are me adding the story and reacquainting myself with the story as we progress. And I do those, so I write whatever season it is. So if I write books 1 through 6, that would be the first season. I would get done with book 6. Then I'd go back, edit books 1 to draft 2 and 3. Then once I get through drafts 2 and 3 of all 6 of the books, then I would go back, do draft 4, 5, and 6 of the final draft in 3 months time frame. Does that make sense? So I typically can get a book series done within 2 years with a season, but my seasons keep getting longer, so who knows, really. But so that is what I did with Bugztopia. Excuse me, Grace and Maris's Worlds. I really didn't start working on them until November, and even then I was more brainstorming. I mostly did it because, like, I at my brother's house, I really didn't know how to multitask and be okay with the idea of being up at my computer typing while my brother was home. Like, that was a big thing that I did not like. Especially whenever I brought my desk upstairs, the reason I did that was because I needed more sunlight, and it's a long story. But I haven't really started and worked on on Maris's or Grace's stories, which I think in the future I'm gonna work on Bugztopia from Monday through Friday. Then on the weekends, I'm gonna dedicate it to, I might do 1 day for each, but 1 day to Maris, 1 day to Grace. So they will get their writing in too. Does that make sense? But so far, like I said, we're only on the 12th of December, and I still have plenty of plans to write. But so far, I have gotten 167,000 words written, and I've written for 172 days out of the 365. Which I think, is pretty good. I don't remember how many words I got last year. I think I get roughly around 200,000 words written each year, which I think is pretty good. And once I get myself more settled into actually hopefully getting able to like produce multiple books a year, doing multiple pen names a year, then I'll be able to get more words. But I don't really do it for the words. I do it for the story. So I don't know. I keep track of words, but I mostly tell the story until it's done, and then if it's done and it's not like for Bugztopia, like this last book I'm working on, I think is only at 8,000 words. And I have a few things left to write in it, but once I finish it out, I'm just gonna be done. And then I'll edit it, of course, but it's just gonna be what it's gonna be. I don't have a set word count for each book to get to. I have an idea, but not set goals. But yeah, so that is how many words I wrote this year. Is about 170,000, almost. I want to say 180,000 just because it's where we're at in the month. And then I wrote for about 180 days. So I wrote about 1,000 words each day, and that's about on par for what I usually like to try to do. So that's good. But yeah, I think that's all I needed to tell you. I needed to tell you about how much I made, so $122. I told you about how much I spent, which was $2,500. That's a lot. And then I told you I wrote about 180 words, 180 days, 180,000 words written, and 180 days written out of the 365. So, within 2/3 of every, for the days, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But yeah, so that's all I've got to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next year when I do this wrap up again. Okay, bye.